So let me welcome all of you, lovely people. It's been a while since I connected up. Hey Usha, good to see you. I'm glad you managed to connect. I was wondering if you were having any sort of a trouble connecting. So starting off now, my friends, and I want to begin by saying that let's live life to the fullest because it only happens once. And we all need to just simply focus on the positive, leaving no room for any excuses, explanations, or any sort of a regret. जिंदगी के हर पल को भरपूर जीना सीखें और जीते रहें. And that's what I would want to say. कि let's not miss any moment in life where we should be able to live life to the fullest. Friends, my name is Dipali Narula for those who don't know me, and I am a life coach with focus on self growth and relationship for couples. And my sole objective as a coach is essentially to help you to achieve a transition in your perspective and attitude that helps you to attain a great mind and body connection. So, while I said when I started with my opening statement that let's live life to the fullest और जिंदगी के हर पल को जिए हम सब मिलके, my guest for the evening is somebody who believes in this philosophy of life to the hilt. She is somebody whom I have known for more than a decade now with during my association of Fashion TV, and which is why I can tell you that if today I was asked to give a crown to a happiness ambassador, I would put it on her head. You know the reason why? Because she herself has always been a very happy person, somebody always in a very happy state of mind, and ensured that she gives happiness to everybody that is around her. It is such a beautiful virtue to be always happy yourself and to keep making people around you happy. Whenever I have met her during my association, I've always found her to be extremely cheerful, so loving, so optimistic, extremely warm hearted, and so spirited that, one only feels so lovely to be with her and in her company. And of course, she also has a huge side of being very naughty, so there is dollops of naughtiness to her. So without any further delay, I am going to bring my guest for the evening online. Please help me to welcome her, the very lovely, popular, and extremely inspirational former practicing surgeon turned into one of the India's leading hair designer and cosmetologist, and also a beauty pageant groomer, Sylvie Rodgers. So help me to bring her on board, friends. And there comes Sylvie. Hi, Sylvie.
Hi, hi, Dipsy. It's so nice to hear you. It's so lovely.
How nice. I'm so happy to have you with me today. And I give you, a big embrace virtually and welcome you to my session of Sharp Conversation, episode number 9. And thank you for being with me here today.
It's a pleasure. It's everything a pleasure. It's just a pleasure. Deeply with you, I can be with you anytime, 24/7.
How lovely. So, just a quick word to the viewers, just taking on from where I was just speaking about you and the program, I just want people to know how Sylvie is like an open book. She's been so proud of who she is and has a hero's journey that is extremely motivational. She reigned as the Sylvie in the 80s and the 90s, as one of India's leading hair designer and cosmetologist. And with her innovative expertise, she soon became a celebrity herself and one of the highest paid, hair designers of the country when she returned from the US almost about 3 decades ago. And that was the time when this profession wasn't so well established. But with people like you, Sylvie, we got to see an emergence of something else in this particular domain of work. Friends, when I was capturing Sylvie's life, I realized how it was like a jigsaw puzzle with many challenges and breakdowns, followed by, of course, many achievements and successes. She's been a multi-dimensional personality with hues of shades, different interesting shades, starting from humble beginning to becoming a doctor and then to a celebrated stylist, hairstylist, and amidst all this, discover her sexual orientation as a transgender. Quite a journey, isn't it, friends? So, to know about it all, I'm going to go straight into a conversation with Sylvie so that she's able to join the dots for us and let us know about her adventurous life. So, Sylvie, once again, a big hug to you and a warm welcome. And is there anything that you want to say as your opening remark?
No, I think Dipsy, you said it all. You've not missed out anything. In fact, I'm so happy to be on this show of yours, and I had no idea. As I told you, I'm so technically not savvy, but of course, you helped me to get through this. And for me, it's a huge leap. All these, live talk shows and all these things, because way back in our times, we had to go to studios, we had to sit out there, we had to, get ready and all these things. Now life has taken such a turn. You just sit at home and you give your interviews. I mean, I have seen it all actually.
Oh yes, I'm sure you and I, people of, way back when, we really got to understand what life is all about. From then to now, we've actually seen a real turnaround of so many, important happenings that happened,
Yes,
in this, the years gone by, and the transition from the 70s, 80s, 90s to now to the 21st century. I mean, it's been phenomenal for all of us, isn't it?
yes, yes. It's been
Okay,
an
so,
amazing journey, and I don't have any regrets because I think it was part of life to, for happiness, sadness, and that whole that whole emotional thing to come in, because uh, I think for me it was a very happy roller coaster. It was a roller coaster, but it was a very happy roller coaster. Each tumble and tall and fall made me get up and giggle and think, okay, it's okay. You know what I mean?
yes, yes. So, Sylvie, before we get on to your journey, I want to first begin with your childhood, your early childhood, your background, because then it becomes so much more simpler for the audience to join the dots of your latter part of your life. So, let's quickly begin by knowing about your early childhood and your background.
Okay, I come from a Catholic Anglo-Indian family. Why Anglo-Indian is because my mother was Goan from Goa, but she was living in Kolkata, and she had married a Dutch guy, a Dutchman from Holland, who was doing his engineering. He was about 19 and she was about 17, and they fell in love, and they had me.
Sure.
So so I was there in 1959. I was born in Kolkata. So I'm an Anglo-Indian. I'm a Catholic, and we are born and brought up. And I studied in a missionary school. My education was paid by the church and by sponsors. So because we come from a very simple, poor family, we were not even middle class. Not even we never knew what a fridge was, or what a cycle was, or what a chocolate was. Nothing of the sort. That's why even today I don't eat sweet, because I never had it as a child. But the fact remains is that we were brought up in this Irish brother schools, missionary schools. I was in St. Paul's School, where we had a very uh, conservative bringing up, and everything was paid by the church and the sponsors. So right up to my education, right to about. So as a child, I never much saw the outgates of my school because we were in boarding schools. I was put in when I was about 4.5, 5, and I finished about 16. So, and in our time, they had senior Cambridge, which was class 11. We never had 10 plus 2 and what they have today, which I don't understand. But we had senior came in and he straight went into a professional college or engineering or doctorate or accountancy. These are the three major things that were ruling. But we coming from a poor background, simpler background, if we had a certain grading, if we had got 90 and above percentage in our result, then the board of Calcutta sponsors basic of your colleging, and also the church pays for the balance. So I was very lucky. I got 98.8, which is, I had to
Wonderful.
study because I was the eldest among five siblings. I was the
Wonderful.
eldest boy child among two girls and two boys more. So, and my mother kept drowning into my head. It's only education that will make you successful. She said this to me each time she saw me. So, and in that time, it got so much into my head that I became a bookworm. And then at the end of it all, I did get 98.8 or 98.9 or something. And the West Bengal people, West Bengal government sponsored half my studies, and the church paid for the other half. So they gave me an opportunity to go to London and to do my further studies. First, I joined Xavier's College, because I had the best opportunity. Everything was paid for me. I was very lucky. We were all very lucky. We were looked after very well. It was missionary schools. Uh, of course, we never got the best of everything, but for us in those days, even a little was the best. When I see life today, when I see people today, they have nothing. Then I think that was the best.
So
So
tell me, yeah, yeah, tell me, go
So
on.
from there, I went on to college. After when I got my results, my mother and the whole, all the bishop and they all had their meeting, and he said, since she's such a brilliant child, he's such a brilliant child. Then I told him I want to join the priesthood. I want to become a priest because I finished school when I was 16, and I
Right.
had no home to go to. Mommy used to stay almost on the roads. We were so
Oh,
poor. Yes, yes. So my mother didn't want me to come home because she knew about me and I didn't know about myself. She saw me very feminine and but I didn't realize it. In our time, I'm talking about the 50s, when I was put into school, and then when I left, I was 17 and 78, 78, 79. Yeah, 77, 78, I finished my schooling. 70s, you see. So my mother knew what was coming, but I had no idea. So she didn't
so
want me
hold
in
your
the.
thought there. Hold your thought there. Hold your thought there. Now tell me that you were a brilliant student, like you just said, and you were a scholarship holder. So
Yes.
this and who really, now, if you didn't want to become a doctor, was the pressure from your mother to become a doctor, because she always gave importance to education, like you rightly said,
Yes,
and she wanted
it
to
was my
become a
mother's
doctor?
decision. Yes, it was my mother's decision because she said if you're a doctor, you can save your other siblings when they're sick. She thought in that terms because she had a very sick sister, she had a very sick brother who had cancer and all these complications. And so
Yeah,
she was very afraid of life because she was very poor. She was a poor,
sure.
going girl, you know what I mean? So because that fright sat in her, so she said, now that you're getting everything paid for, and I disliked being a doctor, anything but a doctor.
Oh,
You know,
I
I
see.
opted, I opted to be a priest. I wanted to join the church. So they took me my interview. They took everything. They said, "You're so brilliant. Why preaching? You just learn the Bible, which you know because we had to learn it as a subject anyways." But my good luck or bad luck, they couldn't keep me in the hostel of the priesthood because I was underage. So I
Sure.
couldn't join. So I couldn't join the priesthood. There was no voice. There was no choice.
So
So they
when you passed from your school and you got your scholarship, your mother was very keen that you become a doctor. Did
yes.
she, at that point in time, start identifying some sort of changes in you and some sort of, you
My
know,
mother
uh,
all along, told me, "You walk like a girl, you talk like a girl. It's okay. You're my son. This doesn't really matter. It's okay. You walk with your head in the air, sky." Because you see, I was in the boarding school, and the other kids used to find me different. They used to call me girly, and she's a girl, and she's a girl, and she's a girl. And actually, in our time, there was no word called gay. There was no word called, queens and all the water terminology of today's. So we didn't understand these things. And being Catholic, Orthodox, nuns, and priests on our nuts all the time at that time. So we didn't get into all this. So there was nothing sexual because we were not supposed to even hold hands. Even if a guy will let other guy's hands in school days, we were quarantined. So this word quarantine I knew when I was a child.
Was that one of the reasons why your mother wanted you to go to London to study further, because she
I
saw
think
this kind of a sexual orientation which she could figure
yes.
out?
DP, my mother saw 20 years ahead of her times. I don't know how. I don't know how. Because when the day when I was leaving, she said, I have fought for you to leave India. Then you know what happened? Then I didn't get my doctorate entrance. I got a nurse's entrance, male nurse. So my mother was very disappointed. So the dean from there told the university, in those days everything took a lot of time. You had to send a letter. You had to wait back for a letter to come. You know what I mean? It was a very
Yeah.
long process. So it almost took a full year almost. Then for the scholarship to reach them, it was a very long process. So in that process, I didn't get admission as a doctor. They said let him come as a male nurse. From there we'll make him study up to the doctorate. So I joined as a male nurse first, and then went on to my doctor, and then went on to do my surgery because I did it so well. See, what I had to do is I had to master everything, as my mother said. You have no more father. You have to master. You have to look after your sibling. You have to. So that, all that was like a kind of a pressure on my head. But Dipali, my mother saw. She told me on the day I left. I'll never forget what she told me. She said, "You're very different." She called my two sisters. She went to the boarding school of my sisters. She said, my school name was Henry. Okay. She said, Henry's a very special child. He's a man, but he's a woman in his heart. You must accept it. You have to accept that's your brother. I
Exactly.
never knew she told my sisters this. I had no idea. And I didn't know myself what I was heading for. But she knew if I move out of the country, उसको नाक बच जाती थी. ये वाली बात थी. My nose won't get cut in Calcutta. In those days, how people. But she was not against me, or she never told me, oh, you're bloody gay, or you're bloody walking like a hijra. Nothing of that. All she said was, I know where you're heading. It's okay with me. If you tell me tomorrow you want to wear a dress or skirt, it's fine with me. Go ahead and wear it. She was that supportive, and I think
Fantastic. Yeah.
that gave me a tinkle that what is mommy saying? I mean, where am I heading? And why am I different from other guys in that manner? So she knew what was coming, and she was much ahead of times and very
So
supportive.
yeah, obviously she was somebody who was very, very broad minded and very receptive to whatever was happening, and she wanted to sort it all out for you and for her. And that's how you ended up being in London to enroll yourself for for the course of medicine, etc., etc. When did you start feeling any different and started to realize your own sexual identity? Was it during your studies in London, and is that the time you started realizing what really was happening with you?
Deepa, in school I felt a bit different because we were in a boarding school and we all the boys. I was in the boys' school, obviously, and when the boys all had to have a bath together, we all had to go nude into the bathrooms, have baths, and come out because we were all boys and it was a boarding school. I would never. I'd wait last till everybody got out, and I would go in for my bath. So I knew there was something not right with my body, or there was something not right, somewhere. But I never knew what it really was because that was not the age where we thought of sex at that time it was not a sexual urge. So I didn't really get the whole gist of it. So but I realized why. Then the subordinate said, Rodgers, get in for your bath. Why are you not bathing with the other boys? Go and get in with the boys. And those boys used to bang, beat me on my bum, beat me play the garden house with me, pinch my ass. And I used to take it as a joke because they just get out, man. What the hell?
So was it in London? How receptive were they to you? Did you feel any sort of prejudice from them as well? Or was, of course, I'm sure it was far better than what you would have faced in India at that point in time.
No,
But how was it
Dipali, when I
in London?
came back to India, I faced a terrible time. When I came back to India, when I went through from hostel into one hostel, from one hostel to another hostel, I never faced any difficulty because I never knew what I was. I was too young. I was 17. So we never knew much in our times. It was everything was games. And I used to play the piano for the church. So I used to play the piano for the church. I used to play the hymns. I was very engrossed in my piano. I was very engrossed in my classical dancing. I was doing classical dancing. So I kind of we never so that's not that I had a very tough time when I came back to India, but in my college days, in my medicine days over there, of course, it started maturing a bit, and then I started feeling I'm more attracted to I used to look at good looking men, which I still do look.
Sure. Okay. And then?
And then I thought, how strange is this? And then I asked my senior. I said, you're so hot. Why am I finding you hot? I don't find the girls hot. He said, you have no idea what you are. You come from where? I said, from India. Oh, that's the reason why. You bloody backward Indians. They would talk to us like that. You know. But fortunately or unfortunately, they never called me black, or they were never racist with me, or they never ill-treated me, because I don't know, but as a child, I've been a very happy, even coming from a very poor background, and it was never driven, it was sad. Poorness was not sad. It was just not a
Right.
sin to be poor. It was just there. You know what I mean? But we never felt it because we were brought up in all British schools, St. Paul British School was run by the Americans and the English, by the British people. So we were given almost the best, of course. So we never really felt the poverty part. Until when I left school, I felt really what poverty is and how to sleep on the roads. I have slept on the roads, so I know what it is. So, and I've gone hungry, so I know what it is. I've
Sure.
seen hunger, so I know exactly. That's why even till today, I share my food with everybody. I know what it is. But
Yes.
that's not the question. The question is that when I went to London and when I was studying college there is when I was blooming because I was 17, 18. I was growing up. Kachi kali wali baat nahi hai, aur I was just growing up. And
Bilkul,
then
bilkul.
one day at one party, one of the boys gave me a kiss on my lips. I said, "What the hell are you doing, man? You crazy?" He said, "You're so bloody skinny. I can touch your bones on your lips." I was so skinny and so ugly.
Really? Okay, that doesn't seem like it. Fun is to see the Sylvie of today.
Very ugly. I cannot show my picture. I have a picture of me, but I cannot show it. I'll die of embarrassment.
Okay, so then how was the doctor with purple hair treated there? I mean, did you have I mean, were you able to really practice well, or
See,
you
this was
started
this was
to
it.
see the changes
This was it.
happening?
Yeah, this was it. When I was doing my nursing in the beginning, because till I had to wait for 1.5 2 years for my to get a post in the section of doctorate. So in the meanwhile, I started with my male nursing, and I had passed my male nursing, and I finished it in 1 year. And then they kept me. They said, "No, you keep on. You go into medical. You got a place." So they pushed. They were very fond of me somehow. Everybody in the hospital used to be very fond of me. And one fine day, somebody told me, you can make your hair colors these days. You know that? I said, yes. And I don't know. My grandmother, who is Dutch, my father's mother, I got to know 40 years later. When I was 40 years, I got to know she was a hairdresser in Hollywood.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't know that. But I didn't know
Mhm.
that all my life till I was
I
40.
see.
So it probably must have been in my blood.
Somewhere in your genes, yeah?
Somewhere in my genes, but I didn't know it. So I said, let's go. Let's take the tube and go to London. We were off even Essex. So I said, let's take the tube and go to London and let's see where they do this and let's vouch it. There was this college of hair, and they were doing it free because it was a new thing happening in the late 70s, 79, 80, 79, I think it was, yes. And they wanted, guinea pigs. And I went and sat on the chair. And I said, listen, I'm training as a male nurse. So if you want to make it brinjal color, go ahead and do it. And they did it. And when I looked at it, I was agog, because I said, what is this? And I had massive hair, like an afro. I had hair like an afro. My hair was like that. I should tie it in a knot. So when I got back to college to medical next day, and I was trying my best to hide it, wasn't hiding. And my dean called me, says, Dr. Rodgers, come here. You've done your hair purple. You doctors don't go purple. I said, but I'm going purple. That is it.
Yeah.
I said, you're not going to throw me out of college for my purple hair. He
Yeah.
said, no, you're one of my best students. How can I do that?
Sure.
So at
Sure.
that time, it was like I set a trend that you can color your hair. It's got nothing to do with your profession.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, so, but it was, how they're the old conservative mind, that British old conservative minds. So I said, you're not going to throw me out of college just because I have purple in my hair. Okay, we'll call you Dr. Purple Hair. So I said, call me what you want to call me. But I like my purple hair. So I had this kind of liking for hair, and I thought it was very beautiful. It always makes somebody look so nice. But at that time, it never struck me to even go that way because I never thought it that way. I just thought people who had hair looked very beautiful, you know. Then when I finished and I worked and all that, then it came a long journey after that.
So I'm going to welcome a lot of people who've joined us. Hi, Neha Mahajan, Neelu Sachdeva, Sutrina, Mehra, Hina Bhalla, Sunena, Binder, Chiba. How nice. Neelu Sachdeva says, have a great respect for Sylvie, ma'am. Sylvie's mom, a broad-minded and ahead of her times. Jatin Gupta says, Sylvie Rodgers, you are so cute. Then Nina Sal says, we used to hear and read about you from our college days, met you in a public event in Delhi, and really actually wowed at your honesty and courage. Lovely to hear from you in person, Sylvie. Lovely. Jay Mishra says, an honest and open person. Cheers to this wonderful human being. Now I know why you speak so highly of her. They know, he's a very dear friend. I've always spoken about you very highly, so which is what he's saying. Okay, great. So now moving on, Sylvie, your journey from being a surgeon in UK, you also painted many times because I guess you were having your own changes happening in your body, which you were trying to recognize. And then from there, you moved on to the US for a holiday. And
Yes.
that's when I think the thing for you in your life, and as far as your sexual identity is concerned, that's where you really realized and you got to explore yourself. So talk about that.
Uh, uh, Dipali, I had to, as it was, put upon me that I had to do my medicals. I did it brilliantly. I passed out, and I was told that asked my dean after my finishing my course that I want to take a job up here and work over here for 4 or 5 years till my sisters, pass out to school, so that I can get them well married. Then I'll go back to India. I want to go back to India for whatever then. And in those days, no one thought of coming back. No one ever did. I was bent on coming back to India. No matter, I don't know why. I felt that's my roots. I want to go back to my roots. Uh, that my dean said, no, there's no need to look for a job. You already have a job. You're working here. That's it. You don't say you don't have a word. And while you're working here, you'll do 2 hours of overtime and we'll make you do general surgery. You pay for it yourself, but you will do 2 hours. So they were very helpful because they saw the brilliance that I was very dedicated to my work. I'm very dedicated to everything in life. If it's to a friend, if it's to work, if it's to a spouse, or if it's I'm a very clingy person. If I go to Lajpat Nagar, I have those 5 shops. I want it from those shops. I will not waste my time going anywhere else. And if those shops don't have it, I tell him, भैया लेके रखो अगली बार मैं आ रहा हूँ मैं आपसे ही लूँगा मैं तुम जहाँ से लेके आओ मैं नहीं जा रही हूँ. I'm the type that I'm a very clingy person. I cling to my friends. I cling to my. So I'm very emotional and sentimental, but I'm a very practical person too. If I say, okay, kill it means kill it, I'm not looking back. It's over. You know what I mean? I'm very, very practical. But as practical, extremely emotional. So I was very happy when they offered me the job. I kept studying further. I specialized in surgery as one of the senior most nurses come doctors because I joined as a nurse. So they always called me a nurse come doctor. So, but I was inside me, I was never happy. I was never happy inside me. I knew something was worrying me. I knew something was not me, you know, because there also, there must have been 2, 3 like me, but they were not showing it. They were all very stiff nosed. Because even in the 80s, early 80s, 70s, being homosexual or being gay was, taboo. It was taboo. The English looked at you as oh no, something's not right, something's not right for them. They had that attitude. So I think even I suspected all along my dean was gay, but he never showed it. Till one fine day, when I left, I came back to meet him after a couple of years, and I met him. He was looking as old as the hills, and I said, "So I knew what you were in college, but I never told you. Now I'm going to tell you." He said, "Shush, shush, Sylvie, shush, Henry, shush, Rodgers, Dr. Rodgers, don't talk like that." He would brush it under the carpet, you
Yeah.
know. But I was not the type because because I was a very always free soul, free happy person coming from a a mixed blood, Dutch and Indian blood. So I had the best of both worlds. I had the European part of me, which was very broad-minded in my head, behind my head, and my mother being Goan and this Catholic, simple Goan Catholic. I had that conservativeness there too also. So, but I was never afraid. I was always ready to, talk back or move on. I was never afraid. Never, never. So from there, I thought, no, I've got to move on. And in that process, I'd met a very nice boy in college. And, he said, let's go out for a date. And I must have been about 2021 when I went on my first date. Yes, 2021, I think. I was way into college. I was doing my surgery thing that time. And he took me on this date, and, I realized what a date was. He, bought me a candy and then showed me his candy. And I was, oh my God, what is this? You have let's have some beer. I said, no, I don't drink. He says, what are you saying? You're 21, 22. I said, no. He says, what's wrong with you? Are you right? Because we've always told in school, in our school days, because we come from church, drinking is bad, smoking is bad, looking at men and women is bad. When you come from a very conservative missionary school, what else do you say? So it was stuck in the head. So slowly, this guy, I started getting fond of him, became very good friends. And he just started kissing me, and we did have these very giggly but very silly love kissing and running away and embarrassment. And, then of course, clothes started coming off slowly but surely. So it happened in college. It happened during my daughter. The sexual part did happen. Then I was a bit embarrassed. I thought something's not right somewhere, And then I asked by the psychiatrist. I asked in my nursing home. I asked him. I said, "Is something wrong with me? I'm attracted to a man, and the guy is attracted to me. What is it?" He says, "No." Then he explained to me, you're gay, you're homosexual. That's the first time I heard the word. Actually heard the word, and I was
Okay.
in shock. I said,
Yeah.
"Oh." He said, "You're a third community." I said, "Really? What do you say?" I had no expression how to. I can remember my face. I didn't know how to react. And I went back, and I had met this friend of mine who I was kind of seeing. We never knew it seeing as in seeing in those times. I called him and I said, listen, I spoke to Dr. This. He said, but he's a psychiatrist. Why did you go to a psychiatrist? I said, because I'm all mixed up in my mind. We almost had sex. I said, it's not right. It's definitely not right. He said, that's perfectly right. We're meant to have sex. We're gay. And he said the word to me, gay. I said, no, you're homosexual. And we had this argument, and I was like, oh my God, what happened? He says, I don't know. You are gay. Trust me. And I didn't speak to him for 3 days. I was so upset that he called me gay, you know. And then slowly but surely, I got into understanding what I really was. And he said, you're so beautiful as a woman. You're nothing like a man. I told him, I said, I know that, but I thought it's wrong. He said, no, you perfectly go good. Then I started writing long letters to my mother in India. And she started writing long letters to me. She said, I saw this when you were in school. That's why I sent you away.
Sure, sure.
So
So
then I got to know.
she was always very aware of it, and she knew what was coming.
Yes, yes. Because she had her friends, one or two friends who were gay, and they used to face a very bad time. But I didn't know that till she told me about it when I returned. I returned when I was in my 30s, late 30s, I became a hair designer much in my late 30s. I was 37 or 38 almost when I became a hairdresser. No, 36, I think, yes, something like that. So she told me much later, and I was like, why did you tell me? She said, I was trying to get it to you, but you were not getting it. I was trying to tell you in a roundabout way, but you were not getting it.
So, Sylvie,
Then
when
she said,
was it? So when was it that you decided to liberate yourself from being Dr. Sylvester Rogers to becoming Sylvie Rogers? When did that transition really happen that you
That
realized,
happened.
you accepted it, and you said, I have to, now own it and go in for liberating yourself from being Dr. Sylvester to Miss Sylvie Rogers?
My mother said you have to take care of the sisters and your brothers. You have to take care of them all very much. You're the senior most. You have to get them married. You have no father. I'm a single woman. You know how it is. Single mother handling you four, five of you. So all that responsibility came. So the moment I came back to India, first I had gone to America. I took a long holiday in America. I took 1 year's leave. My sisters had finished schooling that time. They were doing well. So I'd come back. In between, I'd come back after I did my doctorate. I'd come for a year. I settled my sisters into colleges. My younger sister Yasmin, who's now one of the topmost makeup artists in Bollywood and Hollywood both. So she was studying in Pune and St. Mary's Hostel. My younger sister Charmaine was there. So when I came back, I settled them down. I got Charmaine married quickly. I got her married and went back. And Yasmin was in college, so I had 2, 3 more years to think what I want to do. Then I thought, no, I don't want to be a doctor. It's too much of blood. It's too much of crying. It's too much of dying. It was not my character. I was a very always bubbly, happy person. And if someone died, and whether on the table or somebody, and I saw it happen, and I used to go sad for 3 days. I wouldn't eat my meal. It put me off. So I said, this is not my profession. It's not suiting me. Let me see if I can do something else. So I didn't tell anybody. I took a long holiday. I had a cousin, two cousins, in fact, country cousins rather, in America. And they said, you come for a holiday. All you do is buy a ticket. That's all. We look after you, do everything. And I went over there. And then we took several different courses, small courses. And then I ended up taking a head course in the process and a makeup course in the process. And then I realized I was, my professors, they said, you've got fingers. You work beautifully.
They
And you
didn't know
look
you
so.
were a surgeon.
They never knew. I didn't tell them. They didn't know. They said, your fingers work like you can cut up a body. They would say it to me. Then I didn't say it because I thought they would not take me.
So,
They think I wouldn't study. So,
yeah.
so I didn't tell them. But when I finished my full course, when I first took a 2 month course, then I extended 2 months, then extended 2 months, then extended, and I almost did a year's course. Then when I left, I told them, I'm a surgeon, I'm a doctor. I can do a delivery right here, no worries. I can take care of anybody, don't worry. They were in shock. They was like, why did you leave your doctor? I said, no, because I love this. That's when I changed my mind. And that's when I thought, I'm going back to India. I'm changing my identity. I'm not going to be like this. I'm going to change my name from, Dr. Sylvester Rogers to Sylvie Rogers. I'm going to change it. I'm going to live the way I want to live now. It's my choice. In the process, I'd met 2, 3 men. I'd slept with them. They had slept with me. They showed me life. I saw what sex was all about. I was very open about it. I was never in a closet, never ever in a closet, because I never knew what a closet was. I
Sure.
really never knew. I still don't
Sure.
know what's a closet. So I was very
Sure.
open about my sexual attitude. If anyone told me and said, "Oh, you're homosexual," I said, "Yes, what's wrong with it? It's fine. If you find it wrong, it's your problem. I'm okay with it." That would be my answer. So it never bothered me. But when I came back to India, it started bothering me because here people used to spit on me.
Yes, I
They
wanted to
spat
know
on
about that.
me.
I wanted to
Yes.
know about that next. That in USA, you of course also met a man from Kerala and you married him and he became
Yes.
your husband. You took that bold step. Then you also adopted two boys and you shifted base to India. And that
Yes.
was sometimes late 70s, 80s, or 80s and
80s,
90s.
80s, 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 early
80s and
80s.
90s, where at that point in time, the society was still not as evolved as we see it today. It was
It was
very
never like this.
and yeah,
Deepu, it
and
was.
sexually restricted and sexually restricted. So how was it really that you were able to manage your, the way you were, and what was the kind of
You know,
stigma and harassment and the kind of heartburn and pain that you faced that time? How did you deal with it, Sylvie?
oh, it was extremely difficult and humiliating. It was, you know, firstly, I didn't speak very good Hindi, which I still don't speak. My Hindi is as bad as it used to be. Because I've always studied in the British school, then I went to Europe, then
Yes.
I came back and then I started learning a couple of Hindi words. And I had gone to this market with my newfound husband, and I told him, I said, now we settle as a husband and wife in India. Let us adopt two children and live a normal life like a man and woman has children. Let's just adopt two lovely boys and bring up children. I thought I had to prove to this world that nothing wrong in two men bringing up children. You don't have to give birth to be a mother. You can be a mother from the heart. I always thought like that. And I
Sure.
did that. I adopted children. But one day, my mother was alive. She came to spend a holiday with me in Delhi. And I went to Lashman Nagar market. I'll never forget. And one person, not one, I passed one shop. He said, देखो देखो अंग्रेज गांडू आ रहा है, अंग्रेज गांडू, गोरा गांडू है, ये गोरा है, गांडू है. And I didn't understand the word. I couldn't get what he was trying to say. So first I thought it was, because they were all laughing. So I thought some joke. Then when I went into the shop and I paid, I bought something in the shop and I paid him. He said, आपके हाथ से पैसा अच्छा है. हिजरों का हाथ, हिजरा से जो पैसा मिलता है ना, बहुत अच्छा है. हम लोग देता है हिजरा को, आप दे रहे हैं हम लोग को. Then I heard the second word hijra. So it didn't click that they were insulting me. I couldn't get the point. When I went back home, I told my mother. She was in the house. She said, do you know they were insulting you? I said, no, Ma. She said, yes. I'm coming out with you next to the market. And my mother went with me to Lakshman, like the same market. And the same thing happened. She caught a guy and she gave him such a thrashing. Such a thrashing. I told her, Mama, what are you doing? You're fighting on the road. Don't do these things. We don't fight on the road. She said, how dare you? You're my child. And I started crying. I started howling. And I went back. She said, what the hell are you bloody howling for like a bloody... You're actually howling like a bloody gandu. Behave like a woman or a man. Either choose one. And that opened my eyes. She said, choose it. Which one you want? You want to be a woman? Wear a bloody skirt from tomorrow and go to the market with a skirt on and a dress on and look like a woman. So they don't call you gandu. She told me these words. I said, yes.
She was
My
really
mother
your
says,
solid
I said,
support.
yes. My mother says so. She gave birth to me. She's right. I changed my identity. I took the opportunity to change my identity.
She actually tried to help you to live with dignity. That is what
Yes.
her
She
agenda
said
was.
it. She said the word. She said, live with dignity. You want to be a woman, then be a woman. But don't
Oh,
change your sex. Don't tamper with your sex. Do what you want. I had my boob job done much after my mother died. When she died, for 15 years I still didn't have the guts to do it. I thought she'll rock in her grave and come and slap me one night. But after 15 years after that, I had my boob job done. I had it done eventually. I had some surgery eventually. But that was out of fright. I never did it for 15 years, even after her death. She said, dress like a woman, look like a woman, do what you want as a woman. Don't tamper with your sex. What God has made you, remain like that.
so
God will appreciate
Sylvie,
you.
yes. So with this sort of an adverse environment where people were so hostile and not so receptive and acceptive to people such as you at that point in time, you came back with your your professional expertise in hair and beauty by the likes of the Vidal Sassoon, etc., from America. How did you then make a way for yourself to be able to become a professional? How did you find your roots here in back home in Delhi? And of course, then later we all know that you went on to become a big name and a celebrity yourself. But this whole journey of coming back to India, joining Scott Hospital for some time, and then taking off as a hairstylist and a beautician. Tell us about that.
Dipali, I had somehow, somehow I had the Lord holding my hand. I had him, he was holding my hand. He told me what to do. And I never ever thought about being a celebrity or being a hotshot designer or being a very hotshot top. I never even thought I'd become the topmost hair designer in India, or all these things never entered my mind ever. And I don't think even it's still in my mind. I don't ever think that I was one of the topmost. There were many. There was Habibji, there was Shinazji in our times. So there was never competition. So there was no top and small. But what I did feel was when I had the Lord guiding me all the time. I was very lucky. Oh, it was just put into place for me. I'd gone to, I'd taken up a part-time job in escorts because I was not getting a job when I came back. It was a new it was called Escorts Heart Hospital in the New Friends Colony. I don't know if you know about it. Our times, it was a new,
Of
and there was
course,
a new hotel coming up opposite called Surya Hotel. That was
of
just
course.
come up. It was brand new. So we used to go for coffee there. I took up a part-time job over there. Coming from abroad, they gave me a junior surgeon. You go to OPD and you work in the OPD. I said, give me anything. I'm just passing time. They didn't know I was already a full-fledged hairdresser in Europe. I'd already worked in America and come back because I was looking for an opportunity where to work as a hairdresser, but I had to have money. I had two more brothers coming up, one more brother coming out of school, So uh, I used to go to have coffee in that Surya. It was very cheap in those days, coffee, very, very cheap. So we were five, six
So,
dollars. And I met a lady called Mrs. Mathur. Very nice lady. Very nice. Her husband, when he met me recently, Mr. Mathur, Mr. Rakesh Mathur, he was the general manager of Surya Hotel. And she was his wife, and she was running a beauty parlor in the basement. So she said, we were sitting at the pool and having coffee, and as usual, playing the garden ass and giggling and laughing. And I had this multicolor hair, looking wild as ever. And she said, "Excuse me." She said, "You're a doctor. You all are doctors. You come from Escort." We said, "Yes, ma'am." So she said, "Oh, how come you're a doctor? You got your hair all colored." So I said, "Actually, ma'am, I'm a hair designer from New York." "You're a hair designer?" She said, "Are you joking? You have a doctor's coat on. I can see you wearing the coat." We all had our coats on. We used to just come from there and have a cup of coffee and rush back. So she said, "You mean to say you can cut hair?" I said, "I'm an expert. What are you saying?" She said, she was this tall woman. She was about 5'9", huge Punjabi woman, Mathur, very elegant woman, but very beautiful woman. She had hair up to here. And she said, "I will challenge you if you give me a different style. I have a parlor downstairs." I said, "You have a parlor?" I got so excited. I ran down with her. She said, "Okay, tomorrow 4 o'clock." I told the hospital tomorrow I'm going to come and work for half day. I have appointment somewhere else. I ran and I cut her hair, Deepali. She had the most beautiful hair. I cut Mrs. Renu Mathur's hair. I'll never forget. She took her phone, dialing. Those days there were no mobile phones. Dialing, dialing, dialing for 1.5 hours. She said, "I have got a New Yorker to run my salon. Come and have your haircuts, girls." She had this team of women, high society women, who all blend. Bina Ramani was in that also, I remember. She was one of their team, one of her members. They
so
would meet up at kitty parties and all, hoity-toity parties. And I was this young queen, wild queen, with colored hair. And then they came to see us. "Oh my God, Renu, you changed. You look so glamorous. Who did this?" "Sylvie." So I said, "Yes, I'll make you also the same. Come on, let me do it." She gave me the first break in Surya Hotel.
ah,
And
okay.
I was so happy. I never even gave my resignation. I told the doctor, "I'm not coming back to work on tomorrow. I don't want my money. I don't want it. I'm joining Surya Hotel." Then from Surya, I met Blossom Kocher in the process.
How nice. Yeah,
The
yeah.
Blossom, who gave me a
Lovely
job as
daughter,
a trainer in her Pivot Point. She was running a school for education, and I was one of the senior teachers to teach the advanced courses there. So Blossom, being an Anglo-Indian also, she said, "I can't believe it. You're doing so. I mean, people are talking about you." She contacted me as soon as she said, "Come and join me. Teach in my college 2 hours in the morning." I said, "Sure, I will teach." So I used to teach in her thing, then go back to Surya and work all day. Then Mr. Mathur got shifted to Bombay, and the parlor had to shut down after about 3 or 4 years or something. It had to shut down because he got transferred to some Taj hotel in Bombay, and she had gone also. Then, ma'am, I didn't want to stay there without them. Blossom Coacher took me and put me somewhere else. So it was the whole the whole transit was that manner.
and I remember, Sylvie, I remember what a stir you created. What a stir you created. Suddenly we all started hearing about this beautiful Sylvie and the person to go to for all your fantastic hairstyling and your beauty requirements, etc. It was Sylvie all over. Are you having a problem listening to me?
Your voice is not audible. I didn't hear the last part of your question.
Okay. I was saying, can you hear me now?
Yes, I can, but there's some wiring problem. There's some. Anyways, I'll get it. Tell me.
So what I'm saying is that when your journey started here in Delhi, um, Gradually, you made such a big name for yourself that we all young girls knew about this one Sylvie Rodgers, who was the person to go to for all our hair and beauty requirements at that point in time. I don't think you've been able to hear me.
I never got a
I
question.
don't think
You,
you've been able to hear me. Just a
but
moment.
your voice is not
A
audible at all.
moment. Um,
No, I can't get the question. But
my
seem to understand that I can't hear your voice. Voice is
I,
coming.
I I I
Coming
know
like
because
Chinese.
your voice is garbling. Your voice is garbling. Is your connection
It's
your
cracking.
end?
Your voice is cracking.
Uh,
There's the mic problem.
moment, just
You're
a
having a
moment.
mic.
Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. Sylvie, say something. No. What are you doing? Sylvie, can you hear me now?
Yeah, better. Yes, yes.
Okay. Okay. Oh, oh, she needs to join in. Friends, I'm just going to bring Sylvie back online. There was some disturbance. Just bear with us. Technology. So, hi, Sunil ji. How are you? Thank you very much. I'm so glad you could join in. Thank you very much. Yes, Rashmidi, I know there's some disturbance looking at it. Let me quickly say hi to Akriti, Natasha, Deepak, Kriti. I will take up your comments for Sylvie in a minute when I get her back on. Hina, yes, she's truly inspiring, undoubtedly. Usha, I salute to you, Sylvie. Love your guts. I'm going to let Sylvie know about this. Beautiful comment. Hi, Priya Bita. How are you doing? Good to see you. Naz. Naz says, hats off to Sylvie Mama. It's because of her we dared to change our sex. She was the first in Delhi. Sure, Naz. I will certainly bring the comment on for her. Thank you, all of you, for being with us and just bear with me. I'm just going to bring her online again. Aprajita, thank you. I'm going to let Sylvie know. Nirupma, hi, thank you, my dear. Chitra Sen says, met Sylvie many a times in Chitranjan Park buying fish. That's interesting, Chitra. That's interesting. Anand says, beautiful and the real influencer of this country. Yes, Anand. Sylvie is really lovely and very, very inspiring. Vishal Goswami, you are very beautiful, Sylvie. Jatin Gupta says, Sylvie, we are friends on Facebook. Oh, I see. Okay. Hina, thank you, people, for just remain with us. I'm just trying to bring her back online. Just give me a second. Sorry, what is it? Friends, it's just taking a couple of minutes. And so, in the meantime, friends, let me just tell you that, the whole idea of bringing personalities on sharp conversation like Sylvie and the others that you have seen so far is to really know about their lives, to know what are the kind of challenges and, the kind of breakdowns that they faced in their lives, for whatever circumstances, and how they were able to really hold fort for themselves and were able to make a success story out of their lives. Sylvie is a brilliant example. I've known her for so long, and whenever I have met her, as I said in my opening remark, it's always been so encouraging and motivating to sit down and talk to her. There is not a single twisted bone in her system where there is any sort of an ill will about anybody or anything. It's always about only a lot of positive talk, a lot of optimism, and an attitude of a lot of grit and perseverance towards everything in life. And of course, always being very, very happy go lucky. And I think the bottom line is that, if you're able to have a happy state of mind, you're able to have a great mind and body connection, you're able to sail through life so much more beautifully. So, my whole endeavor of having a sharp conversation is really to bring such personalities to know from them their testaments and understand what really, what were those attributes, what were those traits that they were able to really inculcate and hold on to be able to make a life of a huge success story for themselves. This is taking some time, and if you allow me, I'm just going to quickly check on what is really the delay. Can you just help me? For Priya. For some reason, connectivity to her phone is not happening. Um, we're just trying to get through to her. I'm going to just wait for a couple of minutes, and I hope I'm able to get through. Otherwise, we'll have to figure it out. If anybody has any questions, you're welcome to ask me anything, and I would be happy to answer. Not yet. We're just trying to figure it out. Hey Sylvie, how are you?
Good. It just went off.
I know. It's all right. I think everybody understands because technology and our dependency on it, it's not about having a stage show where it's non-stop, multi-dimensional.
No,
We just have.
I couldn't hear your last question, so I went into silence.
I was trying to tell you that when Sylvie established herself from, moving away from her original line of work as a doctor into the area of being a hairstylist and a beautician, how you were able to gradually make a huge name for yourself. And I remember at that point in time, we knew the kind of stir you created. We all know that if we wanted to go for a change of this huge glamorous hairstyle, something which was new and something which was with a fresh perspective from what we had earlier, the people who were already there, then the person to go to was Sylvie. And Sylvie, of course, we know that how you were able to really, really work hard, face all the adversities that you had to face, and yet you were able to hold on to your fort and kept surging through all your, through the hostile environment, and be able to create a name for yourself. So this is something which is admirable and hugely motivating. And I'm sure that's a sense that people are already getting. There are a lot of people who have, shared their messages just now. And Natasha Malik says, "You are a strong, you are strong like pillar, an amazing person. God bless you always." Akriti Ibrahim Clifton says, "She's such a star, absolutely gorgeous." Hina Bhala says, "Truly inspiring." Um, Surya Prabha says, "Being you and accepting yourself has been the mantra to your happiness and success, Sylvie. Otherwise, life could have been depressing. Those who don't understand you are not your true friends. You focused on your talent and made a name for yourself." There is somebody called Sadie C. Long. Most important character she has is she has a very big heart. This is for you, Sylvie. Akriti Abraham says, "Sylvie ma'am is my guru. It's because of her I'm successful as a professional makeup artist and hairstylist." So there are a lot of people who are extremely inspired by you and adore you as a person. Now, tell me, Sylvie, also went away once you established yourself. You had this big name and became the Sylvie. You also moved base for a couple of years to Mumbai to join the Hindi film industry. So tell us about that.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. I had gone to Bombay because I had to. My sister, I told you, was studying in college in Pune, and she was doing a TTC, a college from St. Mary's, Pune. So my mother's instruction was, now that you're back in India, you go and settle in Bombay, and you look after your sister. Every week you go to. This was instructions, huh? And we had to listen. I don't care what you're doing, what job you want to do. You go and look after your sister every week. You have to go and take care of her and visit her and give her some chocolates or whatever, whatever. So
Sure.
instructions came. I moved to Bombay. When I moved to Bombay, I was, looking around for work and things like that, and I bumped into another very beautiful gay person, Sonal Chandani, and she had just returned from London. I don't know if you remember, there used to be a singer called Boy George,
Yes, yes.
who's still alive and a very, very beautiful singer. Very, very beautiful. He was on the fat side, but very beautiful. Very beautiful. This gay person looked identical Boy George. And I was in awe of this person. I said, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful." So she said, "You know what, Sylvie? I live downstairs there. Below me, there's a beauty parlor. It's owned by a lady called Sheila. Would you like to come there?" I said, "Yes." I went there and I met this lady and she said, "Oh my God, you do hair?" I said, "Yes." So she said, "Come and work part time here." And this person was staying above her, this friend who I had bumped into casually. So he'd come down, whenever I'd come for 2 days, he'd come down and purposely get this done, that done, to give them business, to show that I'd be good. And he had a very good, big gang of friends in Bombay. From there, and this Sheila parlor was very popular. So she used to have these actresses coming, Anita Raj, all these, Padmini Kolhapuri, all these girls used to come over there. And when I was doing it, one day Anita said, "You're so brilliant in hair. Would you like to do ours?" I said, "Anytime." And I had no idea that they were big actresses. I had no idea that they were very popular because I just come back and I had not seen any Hindi movies really. And I had never had the thing of joining Bollywood, as in Bollywood. So like that, I met one or two over there. And I started doing there. Then they went back, and then people saw them. Then on screen they were looking nicer. Then like this happened. Then somebody told me, "You must do somebody's hair that you'll get a big name." The owner was telling me, and then automatically I got to know Hemaji. I worked with Hemaji. I worked with so many Juhi. I worked with so many heroines on the road. Then I started changing hairstyles and I started making makeovers to them. It's very long. It's very long stories. I'm just making shorter. That the moment Bombay started gripping me, the Bollywood started gripping me, I started going afar. I started going back because then I was becoming a one-woman hair designer. You know, I did
Ah,
Zeenat, I did Praveen, I did all these Hemaji. I'm still doing Hemaji there, still. And Dimple and all these girls. But I was afraid that my art would never go on the streets. So that frightened me.
I do my homework very well. So I know that you got a very big name when you did hairstyling for Dimple Kapadia in
Yes.
Sagar. And then,
Yes.
of course, you went on to do a great job with Zeenat Aman and Praveen Babis and whole lot of them. So you missed out on that. So you were really working with all these top heroines of that time.
Yeah, but I was not from Bollywood, and that time they had this they had come out with this society where you had to have a card, a license to work. So I had no license to work with them because I didn't know this. I had no idea. So I was called for like a fill-in gap. I used to just fill in, and I was discovered by them because I was just a fill-in actually. I was not
Sure.
really working with the industry. So because I had no license to work with them, you don't have a card. You have to have a card. You have to have all these things, you know. And I was not planning to live there forever. I was just waiting for my sister to finish her college. I was back to Delhi. I wanted to run back to Delhi. So I got to work with Dimple ji and Hema and Zeenat and all these girls on a one-to-one basis. And when I changed their looks, then it suddenly said, "Oh, who is this Sylvie? What is she or he all about?" They would ask, "Oh, it's she. It's Sylvie's a girl's name. No, it's he." And then people used to say, then I used to keep saying, "Should we call you he or she?" I'd say, "How does it matter? Call me what you want to call me. It doesn't matter." Yeah, but by that time I was much more matured, and it didn't really matter anymore. But the beauty of the whole thing was because my work was so gripped and caught with it that people actually forgot my identity as a
Yes.
transgender.
Sure.
They were all got into my work mode, and I was very work mode as well. I was very balanced. I wanted to look good always because I was working with these top beautiful heroines. They were all so beautiful, you know. So I wanted to also look beautiful like them. I also wanted to be in power with them. So you know, so I would also groom myself well, go with them, and do this, do that. So what the main thing was that I learned on the job a lot, on the job. And these heroines, there's there's no airs and graces. They're all so nice to work with. You just sit. They just sit down there. They say, do what you think is right. You're the makeover. You're the doctor of hair. You are the high priestess of hair. They would give me all these titles. And when the papers used to take my interview, they'd say, I say, talk to her. I said, Dimpleji, aap bolo na. Hemaji, aap bolo na. She is the priestess, high priestess of hair. No one can be like her. Tell her to touch her hair. You'll see magic in her hair. Tell her to touch it. Tell her to. She'd say he. Then she'd say, oh, he, na. Oh, she would joke. So I'd say, ma'am, kya bol rahe aap? They were very nice to me. Everybody, I came across very good people in my life. I still come across very good people like you. So I've been
Right.
blessed. I've been really blessed. So in that process, I started gripping, the industry very well. Then they knew if it's a tricky song, if it's a very tricky song and they need to make over a song, they say, there's that foreigner who cuts hair. That's foreigner. They
Yeah.
didn't say Anglo-Indian. They say she's a foreigner, because
Yeah.
I was returned
Yeah.
from foreign.
Yeah.
So they called me. Then I would give this whole new get up look. So I made a name there. But behind my mind, I was worried that what I wouldn't go on the streets. My hair, my art wouldn't go on the streets. I'd have to stick to one person. Then we started getting possessive also, like Zini. They said, Sylvie, mere baal karna, I'll pay you any amount, I'll buy you a flat, but don't do anybody's hair. So they were getting possessive, and they also wanted their designer to themselves. See, and I
Sure.
couldn't afford it. I had to move on. You know. So with that, I said, no, this is not me. I have to get on the street. I have to get to colleges. I have to get to the girls who are beautiful. So I made it. It was very difficult to get out of that because that was all. The name was getting glamorous. I was picking up glamour from there, and I didn't know I was picking up glamour. But in the process of meeting the heroines, behind them, I knew also want to look like a heroine. So I was, you know, grooming myself better. Each time I went looking different. Each time I went, and you'd remark, "Oh, आज तो dress पहन के आया. Ah, क्या बात है, Sylvie, boyfriend देखेगा." We'd have this nice chit chat, and in between here. So they were the ones that showed me what glamour really was. But I used to give the glamour with the hair and the touch. But they would give me then the final look was done with the other designer, the clothes designers, the makeup, the scene, the ambience, the whole thing was so beautiful that I used to say, "Oh my God, this is heaven working here." But then I thought, I'll never get to the common man. I can never get to the. So it was a very hard decision to make, to leave the industry. It was very tough on me. I said, once I
Sure.
leave, the money's gone, and then I won't be associated. But my good luck, I made the decision, came back to Delhi, and joined a normal salon. Those heroines kept coming back to me. So Delhi also saw that they were coming back here, and I was working with them. I was still doing movies back and forward, back and forward. So
Yeah.
that's how the name became really, really, really big. And
Yes.
in the process of it all, the I I was now touching my 40s, and I thought, okay, I'm the queen now. I need to dress like one. I need to look like one. I
Yeah.
don't care who laughs. I don't care who calls me Gandu. I don't care who calls me what now. Then it didn't bother me anymore. It never bothered me in the least. It doesn't bother me now. Of course, I don't hear the word. I feel sad I don't hear the word.
I remember you looking so queenly with your beautiful hair wigs and your lovely flowing gown, and people looking at you with their jaw dropping. I also remember when I invited you to one of our own functions at which we did around you, because we were felicitating people from the industry of fashion
Yes, I'll
designing.
never forget that. I'll never forget it.
And so I remember how beautifully you conceptualized that evening, and what all you did, something with the turban, and you had
Yeah,
your
I had
entire.
a white theme. I made everyone wear white, and I had a white turban and a flowing,
Yes.
Georgette flowing, scarf over it. On a turban, I wore a scarf, which nobody does. You know what I mean?
Correct, correct. So
So
I remember that being a very innovative evening, put together by you. So yeah. So tell me, you're of course now you've been for years. Also, you stepped up to becoming an expert in grooming participants for pageants. And Mrs. International Hotmond is something that you've been associated with for very long now. So just quickly give us a sense of it briefly.
Dipali, I'm in my GK2 salon for the last 20 years. And then I thought, in the last 1 year, things were not getting too good because there are 1,000 Nepalis in that one line, you know what it is. And business had dropped. And I thought, I'm not a person to do 5 clients a day. I was used to doing 30 clients a day, so I thought I'm wasting my time here. So I knew this gentleman called Mr. Bharat Brahma, who is the CEO and the owner of Sai Entertainment, who has Mrs. India Hormone, Mrs. India Worldwide by Hotmon. So I used to go and judge his shows for the last, I think, 10 years. And then one fine day he came to me and sat down. He said, "Can I have a meeting with you, ma'am?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Would you like to be on board with me and be one of my, uh, permanent, be with me permanently?" I said, "I run a salon. I can't be with you permanently. I've got cutting hair by one day." He said, "No, you come when you want, you go when you want. You ask me whatever you want, any salary, whatever you want. But you bring my show from here and take it there. Give me that promise." I said, "Take it there. I'll take it over the moon. I'll give you that promise." And I actually did that. Which
I
I
know
had
about
no idea
it.
that I had no idea that this was my forte too. I could be a creative director. Then he said, "Okay, you create the whole show now." And I sat with him and I saw the show. I kept seeing them and I said, "No, this is not me. I must get some glamour put into this. This is not me." I said, "Stop having it over here and over there. Let's take it to Europe. Let's do it in Europe. Let's go there. I'll create the whole show. I'll create it. I'll give you a skeleton a SketchUp. I'll do the color fonding. I'll do everything. I'll do the mixtures. I'll do everything. We'll get the best designers in. Let's take it up. Let's move on." And I took it to the heights where today it's the best show on. And we've done it all over in Greece, all over Turkey, all over Dubai, and now that show is #1, and people are fighting to get into that show. I'm the creative director of the show now, so I am very
Wonderful.
happy that at the last stage of my life, I would say it's the last stage because when you're 60, you tend to be you feel that okay, I'm not going to retire, man. I got another few years to work. So let me do something new. So I took up something new. I challenged me, but I did it. I said, I have to do it. Now, we can't, we're inseparable. We both can't work without each other. If he has to make a decision, he'll call me. He said, ma'am, I'm sending you the link. Tell someone to help you. Should you do it this way? You do what you like. So I run that show almost. I'm the creative director, but I get the best choreographers in. I get the best designers in. I do the coloring myself. I do the choice of the stage, everything, So we work on a very creative mold. And I don't do the hair and makeup. Can you believe it?
I know about that. I know about it. Yes,
I said, I'm not touching that wheel. This is another job. It's another job.
sure.
I hire hair and makeup. I give other people a chance. I said, the young ones, call the younger ones. Give them an opportunity. Why should I just be greedy, do hair, do makeup, and do the show? That's not my forte. No, we must share. We must
Yeah,
always share.
and the kind of experience and expertise that you carry with yourself, I'm sure I know for sure. I have kind of followed Hotmon, and I know where you've taken it from when it started. It in fact got launched in one of my own venues, and I know how it started. And then once Sylvie entered the whole scenario, you've taken it to somewhere else. So I know about that. It's absolutely brilliant. Somebody says, Dipali, Sadie says it is Sylvie's birthday today. So, Sadie, Sylvie's birthday was yesterday. Having said that, of course, birthday wishes are always there with Sylvie. And yesterday, the Facebook profile page of Sylvie almost crashed because of the way people were wishing her. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, Sylvie, now quickly, the time is really ticking. We've been talking so much and we've really lost track of time. So, quickly, what is Sylvie's personal life as of today? I believe you have got married again. And are your two boys with you? Do they work with you? Where do you stand?
I married 15 years back. That was my second marriage. My two boys are with me. My daughter-in-laws are with me. They're both loving girls. They always keep a tab on me. In fact, I was setting up a new salon in my house because, as Modi ji says, "Ghar se kaam karo," work from the house. So I thought I'd set up one at home. My daughter-in-law, the elder one, she said, "Mama, don't worry. I send you chair. I send you everything. You don't take stress. You just sit down there." And they're loving girls. My sons are very nice human beings. They're brought up in a very simple manner. They're very nice kids. Yes, they're with me. They're all with me. We have a very, very happy family. Yasmin, my sister, keeps coming from Bombay and staying with me with her daughter, and my other sisters here. So we're a very close knit family because we don't have Masis and Chachas, and we don't have anybody left. It's just us. So we're a very close knit family. And of course, my second hubby is he keeps moving on. He keeps moving from here to there because he has a job in Bombay, so he keeps coming and going, coming and going. So I have a lot of time for my parlor, for my Mrs. India show, and of course I look after the house. So I'm very well settled by God's grace. Very happy with everything around me. Uh, God has blessed me in every angle, Dipali. I'm blessed. I just have to think about something. It's on my table. So I have a roof on
How
my head.
beautiful.
I have food on my table. I have shoes on my feet. I have the Lord in my heart. I need nothing more. I'm really, really very happy. I'm a very happy soul. And I
Yes,
don't forget my bottle. And I don't forget my bottle of wine in the night.
I'm sure. I'm sure. My opening remark about you was that if I was to give somebody a crown for being a happy ambassador, it would be Sylvie. Because
Thank you.
undoubtedly, I know about Sylvie being genuinely a happy person and always spreading happiness across.
Thank you, Dipali. Thank you so much.
Tell me something. You've had such an eventful life. Are you putting it? Are you documenting it? Are we going to be reading it? Are you going to leave it behind as a legacy? Anything that
I
the world
am going to
will know
surprise you. I am going to surprise you all out there. I am going to surprise you all. I am going to surprise you all. I'm not going to keep my life to myself. I'm not taking it to my coffin myself. I'm going to share my world with the whole world. I'm going to share my whole life. Everything. You will
of?
see it. You will
I
see
think
it.
you owe it to the world, and I said you owe it to the world, and that's going to be your legacy. That's going to be your contribution.
Yes, yes, yes. Yes, that's going to be my contribution because it's the world, it's the people out there that made me.
Yes,
You
yes,
never make yourself, it's the people that make you. You never
correct.
make it yourself. Without people, you're nowhere. You're just nowhere. So, my
Sure.
gratitude towards that, to pay them back, is to show them what I went through with all the help of everybody around me, where I reached, where I am. and that they will learn from this incident. They will learn from this epic. They will learn that she was something. So I will share my whole life, but it's a surprise. It will come
Love,
up.
love. I'm going to be looking forward to that surprise. Varun Patel has joined us. Hi, Varun, and he says Sylvie mom is one of the best human beings. I know for sure. Yes, Varun, that a lot of people call Sylvie as Mama Sylvie. So she's like a mother duck to many people out there.
True, and I love Varun. Varun was one of my favorite sons. He's a darling. He's a darling.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
I'm the mommy of the industry now.
Yes. So, Sylvie, throughout your interview, you have said, of course, a lot of things which have been extremely motivating, and your basically all your philosophies of life. But I still want you to encapsulate for me quickly what is basically Sylvie's mantra of life in maybe about by giving me 3 to 5 such mantras, your philosophy of life that you have been following.
Uh, honestly, honestly, I have never ever had any such rules that I have to get up and do this. I have to do that. No, the only mantra that I have in my life is just that uh, I do what my mind tells me to do. I just do it. If my third eye says, "Wake up, you have to do this," I do it. Uh, I'm a very staunch, very, very staunch believer in the Lord, and I feel He guides me in every method. And without His guidance, I would not decide anything. I would not know how to decide. So I feel you just have to have faith in yourself, faith in the Lord, number one, faith in yourself. And there's no rules. I don't follow rules. I don't make them. I don't follow them. I'm a wild girl, so I don't have any mantras as such. I just believe in not hurting people. I don't like to hurt anybody. I can't
Sure,
hurt. And if I will cry for nights if I hurt somebody. I can't do that. So I've been hurt in the process many times, but I can't hurt anybody. But I feel happiness is everything. If you're a happy person, you don't need any more mantras for that. You're fine. You have to be
sure.
grateful. You have to be grateful for what you have. You know, there are so many people who don't have one quarter what we don't have. When you look around the world, people, we are so blessed. So
We are blessed.
blessed. I can't tell you. So
Sure,
blessed. So
sure.
blessed. So no mantras. Live and let live. That's the only mantra.
Sylvie, is there something that I may have missed out and you may want to say?
Yeah, I believe you must live and let live. You must not live and then not let any people other live. You must live yourself and let other people live. They want to live. Just let them live. Why are you stamping on their toes? There's no reason. So I believe in that. I believe you do what you want to do. Don't throw stones when you're in glass houses. You live your life. Enjoy your life. Don't bother
Sure,
about what your neighbor is doing. Just do what
sure.
you want to do. If you can make your neighbor happy, why not?
Certainly,
But
certainly.
don't throw your kura in his place.
That's true. How are you tiding over COVID? How are you tiding over these bizarre times?
You know, I stopped looking at the news 3 months back. Also, I don't look at news anymore because it's so painful when you hear so many people are dying, so many people are dying, so many people are dying. You know, my what I say, if COVID is around, the Lord is around too. The Lord is there too. So He's
Hmm.
there to guide you. He's there to help you. So just have faith in Him, and COVID will stay far from you. You know what I mean? You just have to
No,
be a little careful. You just
yeah,
have to be a little, careful with yourself and with people around you. But that doesn't mean you jump into the lion's mouth. Obviously not. But there is a disease out there which is dangerous. But you can't live in fear. There, I'm
sure.
one person. You can't live in fear. You can't live in fear all your life because COVID's around. You're fearful. You can't go out. You can't sneeze. You can't do this. You can't get drunk. You can't have sex. It's all bullshit. I don't believe in it. I believe in do what you want to do. Be free. Be a free soul. But believe in the Lord. But be a little careful also. You must be a little careful. There's no two ways about it.
No, and rightly said, I think we all just need to be spiritually enlightened with the situation and keep ourselves happy and hopeful, really.
Yes.
When there is
And it
no cure,
works. It works,
cure.
Dipali. It works.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
seen miracles. It works. Trust me, it works. The Lord picks up my phone like He's talking to me on a mobile. I get a message like He's talking to me on a mobile. It works. It absolutely
Sure,
works.
sure, sure. So, Sylvie, this really brings us to the end of the interview, and it has been such a lovely session. You have been so candid with your sharings and with your thoughts, and that is really the intention of my sessions of sharp conversation, to be able to hear some, stories and testaments of personalities like you, and let people feel inspired and motivated. It's been such a wonderful evening with you and hearing all about your
Same here.
wins and successes. So thank you very much for
Thank you for
having
having
been.
me on your show. God bless you. God bless everybody out there who's giving me such beautiful remarks. I'll never forget this evening in my entire life.
How sweet. Thank you very much. And I hope to see you soon. Bye bye. Thank you. Okay, you take care. And I just have a little message for my audience. So I'm going to say that to them. And with you, I take off now and I will catch you. Bye bye. So thank you so much, all my friends and viewers and Sylvie's friends, all of you. Thank you for being with us and, of course, also bearing with us during that technical glitch. But just a last word that if you have missed out on the session now here, and if you would like to see my earlier sessions of Sharp Conversation, please log on to my Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube channel. Kindly subscribe and share with your friends and audiences. And I will be back soon with yet another very interesting personality. So until then, thank you very much and hope to see you very soon. Bye bye.